Howdy.
Howdy.
Angie just got here, so we can now start. Brandon, thank you for helping me out there. Oh, howdy, everybody.
Howdy.
I mean, if only this were some fun class where you could watch movies instead of learning. Gosh. I'm sorry?
Instead of being the movie.
Instead of being. Well, you are not in the movie because you wisely switched seats, and so she got out of the movie range. So hello, America. Welcome to our classroom, Universität Heidelberg. I've been there. So, what are we going to talk about today? Accounting, hopefully. Activity-based costing. Oh, Samantha Cornell, do you remember how Perry Mason would define activity-based costing? The case of many, that's really important part of it, the case of many PDORs, but absolutely correct, absolutely correct. So the case of many PDORs. And so today is going to be new even for those of you who were veterans of my Principles of Managerial class. Shucks. But you know, if you want to watch it a second time, it's going to be available on iTunes very soon. And so, eek. So what I'm doing is kind of mimicking, let's make this a little bigger. Now please, as you're taking notes today, do not try to write every word down from every slide. There are a couple of slides that I will say, write this down, okay? Every word, and so this isn't it. You can't read that. Let's do that, and let's do that. Is any of that helpful?
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, I can sure do something around.
That's when I knew I needed glasses. That's when I knew, Victoria, that's when I knew I needed glasses, because I couldn't read it. I can read it from here with my new glasses.
That's when you knew you needed glasses, but you
couldn't read from the second row. So, I'm imitating a fellow named Gary Kokens today, who I just saw him in January at a conference that I attend. He was a guy who was true. She was mocking me. And so this is a fellow who was trained by the very people who invented activity-based costing. It was invented, at least it's credited with being invented by, at the time, a couple of Harvard University professors, activity-based costing. And more specifically, the first technology that was used, first computer programs that were used to create activity-based costing calculations. And now their names escape me. Robin Cooper and Bob Kaplan and Robin Cooper are the two people credited with inventing activity-based costing, or certainly the first program that allowed for the calculations of activity-based costs. And so this man was actually trained by them. He's been consulting in activity-based costing basically about as long as activity-based costing has been around. And this is a presentation that I saw him. This is a Dr. Fessler version of a presentation I saw him give several times, okay? So, but let's look at that opening question. Why is traditional accounting failing managers? When he's talking about traditional accounting, what's he talking about, do you think? Words that we've used in this class. Job order costing is what he's talking about. He's talking about job order costing, right, TJ? Yeah. Don't be distracting her. Yeah, don't. She wants to learn. And so, this is job order costing is what it is talking about, okay? Job order costing. And so this is something of a presentation about why is job order costing inadequate, okay? And then what is activity-based costing? And so, and Again, don't try and write every word down. When we get to the words that you need to be writing down, I will tell you. But feel free to doodle. I do believe there are a fair number of doodle zones in this particular section of the handy handbook. But if you look up here, I gotta make this just a smidgen more like that. There we go. What has already happened? I mean, the original version of this presentation is is dated now already, but this has happened where transaction processing takes less and less time for the accountants of an organization because so much of it can be accomplished electronically, right? Done. Control and risk management shrinking as a percentage of the time that accountants spend. What accountants really do for an organization that benefits the organization the most is help managers make decisions, which we talked about literally on the first day of class in here, right? What's so cool about cost and managerial accounting? It helps managers make decisions. And that's really your value added as an accountant working for an organization. You might have, depending upon the organization you work for, there can be a variety of opinions about you. And to some extent, that's a function of how they've been used in the past, but they can be just cops trying to make sure stuff doesn't get stolen and everything gets recorded and the company CEO doesn't land up in jail for misreporting something. More kind reporters of history, transaction processors, but really that is what you want to do the most of. Right? That's what you're doing. If you want to be most effective and most helpful to any organization that you're working for, you want to be helping managers make decisions. So let's check this out. Allocation example. Imagine a company with 2 departments. And actually, I need to split you all. And in this class, it doesn't, it doesn't split well, but I'm going to split here for better or for worse, okay? So all of you are in Department A, and all of you are in Department B, okay? Okay? So we've got a company with 2 departments, Department A and Department B. Each department currently has 150 employees for a total of 300 employees in the company. So clearly, there are a bunch of people missing today from work, okay? Also imagine that this company has a hiring organization that recruits and hires employees for both organizations. In the most recent year, $100,000 in expenses were incurred by the hiring organization. So you can imagine that perhaps that's me. My salary, cost of my car, computer, phone. My life is to make sure there's employees in Department A and Department B. Now, the company currently has a policy of allocating hiring costs to departments based on headcount or how many employees are employed by each department. Using this allocation method, how much of the $100,000 would be allocated to each department, do you think, Erica? I'm sorry? Well, in theory, there are 150 people in each organization. So if it's based on headcount, you would split it in half, right? Poof, 50,000, 50,000. Piece of cake, walk in the park, as easy as falling off a log. Okay? Now, but can anybody think of any circumstances where that might not be fair?
Well, maybe one department, they lose a lot of employees. They go through more employees
than the other. Department. Is that what you were going to say?
I mean, she kind of stole it.
She stole it from you. Yes.
What about the difference in salaries for the employees?
Well, we won't fuss about that. That is in real life that's potentially an issue. But